We're studying IGCSE ICT, and we're starting spreadsheets revision 1. Now, in this class, we're just going to focus on the formulas and the functions. We'll look at SUMIF, look at COUNTIF, VLOOKUP, HLOOKUP, XLOOKUP, all of these lookups, right? And conditional formatting. And filters. Done. Start with SUMIF. Now, to do anything, we need a cell of data first. So let's create a cell right here. Let's call it item ID. Or let's just say, yep, item ID. Name, item name. We'll have sales, and we'll have region. Now, Manvi, let's just fill this quickly. Item ID is the key, right? You know what primary key means?
Yeah, it's a unique number.
Yeah, it's a unique column of data. Okay, and you must keep it to make sure that each entry is unique. We'll just put some random 4-digit numbers for all of these. Done. Not the same as just perfect. The item name, let's just say cat, hat, sales.
Primary key is in database, right?
Now, database, what are database made up of?
Tables.
Tables. And this is a table. Now, database is made up of Excel files, and they use all of this data, and those tables are there over there as well. But whenever you're doing Excel stuff as well, you should have a primary key, because you'll have to take all of this data and then put it into Access, and then you make a database. Fine.
Yeah.
Now let's say 100,000. That's too much for that. And 5 of that. Now, let's remove that for now. Now we have our data ready. I want to do SUMIF. How do I do SUMIF? What is the meaning of SUMIF? Manvi, do you remember?
Yeah, so if a criteria is filled.
If a criteria is met, right? So for that, let's see. Now I'll write the formula first for SUMIF. Let's do it right. This is how you write it. Then we have range. So we have criteria. Now, okay, some of the criteria. Let's see. What criteria can we have? We can have smaller than, bigger than. Now, all of those signs are there. We can also put equal, right? Now, next thing is, what is the, let's see. Now, if I use right here a function SUMIF, and I'll choose all of this. Now, there's another one you may see here. That's called SUMRange. All right. SUMRange is basically an optional thing. What it does is it calculates the sum of the range as basically it's an optional thing. It will calculate the sum of the range. We don't want that.
Okay.
So let's take this,
Can you show me how to name a range?
name a range. We'll do that. Just a second. Now, criteria is done. Oh, no, the range is done, the criteria. I'll say uh, greater than. How much?
70,000.
70. Let's take greater than 100 for now. Just Manvi, can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right, just a second.
Yeah, I can't see your screen.
Now, can you see it?
Yeah, 1 second. I'm joining again on a PC.
Ayan, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Sorry for being late.
All right. Now we're revising spreadsheets. We started with summit. You have range and criteria in summit. Let's say the range is, I want this range. Done. And the criteria is going to be, let's say, it should be equal to, or let's say greater than something. Manvi, can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right, perfect. Are you joining with the computer?
Yeah, it's downloading Zoom.
It's fine. It's fine. Then just look at the screen. All right. Now we gave the range, we gave the condition, and it should work. Now all we're doing is we have just put equal sum f, put the range, put the criteria. Let's say I want it to be bigger than 100. So this will be bigger than 100, and that's it. Just a second. Just a second. It will add everything which is greater than 100. So it will leave this guy and this guy out. Okay, that's fine. Now, what else can I do with this? I can also look at something which is smaller than this, or something which is, let's say, in a specific range. So let's say it is equal to this, it is greater than this, what I want is it to be smaller than or equal to 500. So it will add everything which is equal and smaller than, or smaller than or equal to
Yeah.
500. Now I'll just give you the signs here. And Ayan, any doubts?
Have you done anything important before this?
What
Not
if
really,
you
no.
do not equal to? If you want to sum
Yeah, if you want to sum,
things that are not equal to 5.
things that are not equal to 5. So for that, you'll have to use this, not equal to.
Okay.
Now the last one you have here is smaller than or equal to, which will be this, smaller than or equal to. The equal to always comes afterwards. Fine. Now our job that's done with summit. The next thing we have is counter. Now for counter, you have a few things, right? You have the range again and the criteria. How do we use it? What kind of criteria can I have for this? Manvi, do you remember? Tell me. What kind of
It
criteria
counts.
did I tell you?
Okay. So, for example, you want to count everything that's region A.
Okay. Let's say criteria could be again equal to something or greater than, greater or
Less
smaller,
than.
right? Uh, that's about it. You can also see, but that's for count if. We have count A as well, and we also have count all. Let's first start with count if. Now, if I say my same as these, okay, but you can do it for you can also set things equal to it. What if I want to count how many A's are there? So what I'll just say is equal count if. This is my range. Then comma, it should be equals to A. So there are 3 A's in this range. Any doubts? Another example I could give is if I want to count if it is, let's say, greater than 100.
What if you want to count the things that end with a T?
End with T. All right. We can do that
In
as well.
rat, bat, mat.
Let's see, just a second. Very re- 1 second. All right. Guys, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Guys, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right. Now, okay. What if I want something that ends with something? So all
Yeah,
I'll
ends
do is
with a
I'll
T.
use a wild card. For that, we'll have to use a wild card. I'll say star T is equals to star T.
What's a wild card?
What's a wild card, Manvi? You must remember that from the last class, which we did on this. Wildcards are basically characters which are used to represent something. Okay. We'll look at that in a second. No worries. First, let's look at the range. The range I'm going to choose is this. So the ones which end with a T are 5. All right, they are 5. And this card does not end with T, so that's counted out. Any questions?
No, can you show the code again? Yeah.
Yep. Now we talked about wild cards. What are these cards? It's used in filtering and well everywhere. These are basically characters used to represent things. We have stars. We have this guy. We have this guy. Star means all. This guy means a single character,
So
and
characters
this guy
used to
means a number.
represent what? A cell, a range, or what?
They used to represent numbers, not a cell or range. These guys are, let's say, I want to say, uh, star means all. Okay, so what I'm saying is, I want it. There could be anything before T. So there could be anything before T, but the last thing must be T. So star means all, but the ending is T. So at the beginning, I could have anything. I could have all, but at the ending, it must be T. And in the same way, I could say, I want that the second letter must be T. Okay, I want the second letter to be T. So for that, I'll have to say one character, then T, then all after that. So we start with any character, it could be anything, but the second one must be T. Then after that, I can have
Okay.
anything. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Ayan, any questions?
No, sir.
Okay. All right. This one is actually for single. This is actually for single alphabet. And this is for single number. Anything.
I'm joining with a PC. It's connecting.
Now this means to exclude. That's about it you have in syllabus. Anything else? Let's keep that as syllabus. Now, Ayan, please write these wildcards. Please write the formula for sum if and count if in your notebook. Tell me when you're done.
All right, sir.
Write the examples as well.
So how do we use the exclude thing?
Yes, Manvi, tell me.
How do we use the exclamation mark?
Exclamation mark is to not include, right?
Yeah,
So
so
when you
suppose
told
you
me
don't want M in the item name.
no M in the item name, right? So I'll just say count if equals to, or I'll just say not include, right? Not include anything in the beginning, anything at the ending, and there should be no M. Fine, if I run this, second. It gives me just a second. We'll look at that in a second. It's supposed to work, but you really won't get these difficult questions in exam. All you need to know is if it starts with something or ends with something. No, not starts actually. If it's larger or smaller than something. But please finish writing the wildcards, finish writing the conditions in your notebook, Manvi and Ayan. Tell me when you're done. We also have to look at VLOOKUP, lookups, and condition formatting. So hurry up. Done.
Done, sir.
All right. Now the first thing we're looking at is VLOOKUP. Lookup values are basically it's again a function, right? The parameters it has is let's write it right here. Parameters are lookup value. Next thing is table array. Or where what is the whole table? Okay. Then you're looking at the column index. That means which column should I look at? Because it's vertical, it's VLOOKUP, it only looks at columns. And next thing is where should I look up? The range of lookup.
So what is the difference between table array and range of lookup?
The range is where do you want to look up in the table? Let's say.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll tell you what it means. Just a second. Now let's start. I want to say I want to look up everything. Let's say that has A. The region has A. Okay. So I'll just say equal lookup.
Equal to lookup.
I'll choose the table. I'll choose the VLOOKUP actually. Now I'll choose. First, you have to look at the lookup value. So I want to look at A. That's my lookup value. Next thing is column. Which column do I want to find? Or where am I trying to search? That would be 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we also have range lookup. What does that mean? Well, what that means is what do I want back? So let's say I want this thing, all of this back. Give me a second. Meanwhile, write this down.
Lookup value, then table array, then column index, then range.
Then the range lookup. Now range lookup is not compulsory. You can remove that for now. I think there is an error here.
So suppose you have, okay, in this question, if you're looking for a range, you have 3 A's in the array, right? So will the answer be a sum of all 3 or?
So that's not what it's supposed. What it's supposed to do is it's supposed to give you. It's supposed to look something up, and it will give it to you for that specific thing. Okay.
Yeah, for
Let's say
example, but you said A, right? Now there's 3 columns, 3 rows which have A in it. So how does that work?
yes, that's why we're getting an error. So I want to
Oh,
let's look at something more specific.
so you have to
Look
use a
at
primary key.
that. The primary key or something which is specific because I want one answer,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So now I want to look in this area. Okay, So I want the sales of the item mat. And where is mat located? That's in the second row. Not second row, second column. Now this guy should tell us the sales of mat. Give me a minute. Ayan, do you have your Excel open?
No, sir.
Open it. Are you on your computer?
Yes, sir.
Now this does happen sometimes. Even in the last class, I was getting errors. So I want you to check this formula in your Excel.
Can we do absolute and relative referencing?
Absolute and relative references. All right. Now, okay. If I want to add something here, let's say I want to say I want sum of ID and sales. That's something I want. Now what happens is, let's say I'll keep it equals to this plus this. That will give me this, right? I'll get 11,223. But if I go downwards, you'll realize that these guys are changing. Why is that happening? That is happening because we're looking at relative referencing, but to make it absolute referencing, we'll have to put this here so that doesn't change anymore. We'll have to put the dollar sign.
So shall I change this as formulas using different situations in relative referencing?
Yes. Just a second. Okay. Now, what if I do want it to change? Let's say I want it to go from one thing to another. Okay. Let's say sum. Let's just take this guy right here. Now this is equals to something. Let's say this. I got an answer. Now, but thing is, I don't want. I'm getting that fine. Now, right here, when we had this over here, I want instead of sum of ID, let's say sum of some secret numbers and sales. And I'll have a secret number right here, which is perhaps 50. Okay, so my job is to add 50 to all of these sales. And when I say equal, I put the dollar sign here. What that will do is that this will not change when I bring it down, and the rest of these guys will change. That is all it is. Now,
There is
for
also one
VLOOKUP,
question.
yes, ask me.
There was one thing where we had absolute referencing and we had to write true or false or something, right? Some formula or function.
Now, just a second, Manvi, your voice is very low. I can't hear you.
In some question, there was this thing, in some function or formula, we had to write true or false, right? And absolute referencing dollar.
Yes, yes, all right. Now, whenever we're doing referencing, whenever I tell you we want to use any value of any position, okay, I have to, whenever I use a cell, there are two options. I can just write the name of the cell, or I can write the dollar sign in front of it. That will make it absolute referencing. Is that clear? What was the question? Say it one more time.
I remember you teaching us a formula or like a function where in the end we had to make true or false.
True or false? Yeah, that was for lookup right here. In the end, I think it was for lookup or it was for H lookup, where you had to say, do you want the approximate match or an exact match? Now
Yeah.
you don't have to do that. That's not in your syllabus. Just leave it as it is.
Okay. So for HLOOKUP, it would be the same thing, but instead of column index, it would be row index, right?
Row index. Now write this in your notebook first. So column index will be the row index. Yes. So for that, all you'll have to do is you'll have to have a horizontal table for that, not a vertical table. Write this down as well, quick. The syntax for HLOOKUP. Ayan and Manvi, have you finished?
With the
Yeah.
lookup
Yeah.
syntax?
Yes, the syntax.
Yeah, I'm done.
No, sir.
Where's the change?
Done, sir.
All right, I think we've got it. Just a second. Now look, when we were using absolute referencing, let's write the definition right here for it as well.
How do you name a range?
Addressing. Absolute is stays same. This changes. Examples of both of them. Let's say if I want a position A and B, A, B, I'll write it like this.
$A, $B.
$A, $B. But for relative, I'll just write it as AB. I can also have partial absolute. I can just have $A and B or A $B. So whatever does not have a dollar in front of it is changing. For example, if I want in this right here, what if I want to add 50 to all of these sales? So I'll make it equal to this guy plus this, right? But because I don't want the secret number to change, I'll have to put a dollar in front of C, dollar in front of
B.
22. Now when I bring it down, we'll realize that everything changes except, so this side is changing, except this cell, 50. 22, C22 is not changing, that's done. Now, for naming a range, all you have to do is select the range, right click it. You have the option to define name. When you click it, let's give the name sales for this, and we'll make it equal. Now, what if I want, let's say if I want to give us a range of somewhere. Let's say I want to do, I want the sum of sales or total. So I'll say total is equals to sum. I'll give a range sales. And then it will directly add everything here. So I don't have to tell it where it is. I'll just say sales. Any questions, Manvi? So naming a range, all you have to do is right click, then define name.
Okay.
We also have, what else do we have? We have done referencing. Now I want to give you an example on VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP, but I have no clue why it's giving the error. Now, Ayan, tell me something else you want me to cover. Perhaps filtering, conditional formatting, what?
Sorry, can we do conditional format?
Conditional formatting, all right. Just a second.
Can we do if function also?
If, yeah, we can do that as well. Conditional formatting. Now, in this, we have to, we need a table, and we're going to highlight the colors based on a specific property. What else are we going to do? We're going to, let's say, give it different highlighting, give it different text colors, and a bit more. Let's see. So for that, all you have to do is select the column you want. Let's say I want this one, and I'll go to conditional formatting. Now I can highlight it. I can give color cells, color scales. So I'll go here. Now this one gives me a scale of high to low. Basically, the lower the value is, the more red it is. The higher it is, higher it is, the more green it is. But the problem is it's already given there. But I want to create my own rule. I want something which is actually custom, right? So we'll go to new rule, and then I have all of these options. Let's say I want to highlight something that is even or odd. If I want to highlight something which is greater than some range. So let's say I want to highlight a value which is greater than, so the highest one should have a specific color. Let's say I want the highest color to be blue, and the smallest, let's say, to be green. But the issue is, it's not really a scale right now. I've just chosen two colors. So what we'll have to do is we'll go to manage rules. We'll edit it. How do you edit rules? You go to manage rules, and then we'll edit the scale. So edit rule, and I'll give a few more colors. So I'll give it 3. Now, if you look at it right here, let's say, and then apply it, we get a range now. So the smallest one is blue, the highest one is green, and everything in the middle is in yellow. We created it ourselves. Now, what if I have a different kind of cell? Let's remove this one. Let's say I have a secret digit or character for each of these items. So I'll give it 2, 1, hash A. Now, what my job is, I want to highlight the only the ones which have an alphabet in it. So I'll go to new rules. I'll go to the second rule, which is format only cells that contain. And I'll go cell should contain. It should be equal to. It should be equals to uh, any alphabet, let's say, or any number. So it put hash sign here. Let's highlight it. We forgot the color though. Just a second. The Manvi, what else do you have? In conditional formatting, tell me.
Conditional formatting, number, color, symbols,
Okay.
and you can do colors. You can do trends, or you can only color a certain cell.
All right. Color only a certain cell. Just a second. Now in the formatting, we'll go to fill because I want it to be filled with a specific color. Let's say yellow.
Equal to 100.
Let's say equals to A, or I only want to highlight A. And if I apply it, A is highlighted. Right? Now, if I want to highlight, let's say in this one, I'm going to duplicate something. Now that will be an error because item ID should not change. Item ID should be unique. It should not be duplicate. So I'll select this cell. I'll go to conditional formatting, new rule, and I'll say cell contains a duplicate.
Okay. How do you do that?
The fifth rule, format only unique or duplicate values. I want the values which are unique, duplicate. And I'll go to format, I'll make it red.
Okay.
So these guys are duplicate. So now that will tell me there's a problem. So I'll have to change this. When I change it, let's say I make it a different thing, it goes away. Now if I change it to something which is already there in the table, I'll get another error. Is that clear? So
Yeah.
I need a
After you
yep,
set the
that's it.
rules, if you change it to see results, it's called modeling, right?
Say it louder.
Suppose you changed it, and now you're changing the data and the cells to test it. So that's called modeling, right?
Yes. Now, okay. Let's say all right. The next thing we're looking at is I want to condition formatting is actually done. Anything else do we have in it? We have things on. We have the range. We have do it on specific things. I don't think there's anything else in condition formatting. So the rules are you have duplicates. You can have range, which means smaller or greater. You can have color scales. Let's try one more scale we have. That is uh, data bars. Now
So
these
it
data
fills
bars are
only
showing
some
us.
of the cell.
Yeah, it tells us how big something is. It just gives us a ranking, like a bar chart. Okay. Now I'll go to condition formatting. I'll clear all the rules. Let's say from selected cells. So from these cells, all the rules are gone. Now anything else we have? No, that's it. You can have color scales. You can have a specific type of cell if you want duplicate or something bigger or smaller. We also have have you done font color and everything? I think that's easy, right?
Yeah, that's pretty easy.
Have you done searching?
No.
Searching, all right. Let's say
Searching is what exactly?
when you have a range and you're trying to search for something
No,
based
that's
on
just look up, right?
not basically look up because it's inside filtering. It's more into you're trying to filter something. Let's just kind of calling it searching. Let's call it filtering. And it is filtering, and inside filtering we'll have search. For that, we need to have a table first. So I'm going to use this whole thing and make it a table. So select your range, go to table and my table has headers. What is the meaning of headers? Headers are these item ID, item name, sales, all of that. So it will automatically make them headers. Now this is my table, fine. Now when I want to, let's say, filter this, I'll go to text filter and I'll go to, let's say, it should have a custom filter perhaps, or it should only have things which only the regions A. So I'll go contains A. Now it is only showing me the regions A, the items of the region A. Now what if I want it to have all the items except B? So now it's showing me A, C, A and C, everything except B. How do we do it? All you have to do is go to text filter, and you have all these options here. Okay. Another thing is you can sort it. So I can sort item based on descending order, ascending order. So sort A to Z, that will make it in ascending order.
Can you do the custom filter color thing once again?
All right, custom filter. Now you have all these rules, just the 6 rules, but you can mix and match now. So let's say I want it to be, let's not do it here. Let's do it in the item name. It has a better variety there. So we'll go to custom filter and let's say it begins with, or let's say it must end with A and end with T, and it should
Begin with a C.
Should not contain or begin with a C. Fine. So begins with,
Or it should not contain an M.
so does not contain M. So all of these.
Okay.
We've done
This is
filtering.
easy.
It is easy. It's like Excel. The only I want to show you VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP. Just give me 1 second. Now we did this in the last slide, Manvi. Were you able to understand that?
Yeah.
So giving me an error now. I don't understand why. Because I want to show you a physical example of the VLOOKUP thing.
So first we need is equal to VLOOKUP and then criteria range. No,
the first lookup value, what are you trying to find? Next
Yeah.
thing is where is the data, okay, and
Yeah.
which column are you looking into? That's it.
And range of lookup.
Range lookup is if you want, well, that's optional. Let's just remove it from there. That will not be asked in your exam. Is that clear? Range lookup is not
Yeah.
asked in the exam. Just a second. Give me 1 minute, and I'm opening an example. And do you have any questions in wildcards and filtering and sorting?
No, sir.
All right. Let's try this. Okay. Now, if I have the same table right here, This is my table. And our job is to actually look at, let's say, lookup. Lookup value is 1231. That's the item ID. Next thing is which table am I looking at? This whole table. Do not include the headers, by the way. You don't have to do that. Next thing is which column am I looking? Do I want? Let's say 1. Do I want an approximate match? No, so false. All right, so it does work.
If I don't write false, will it still work?
Let's see. Yes, it will. Because that's optional. By default, you have for the
False.
match, it's false. Now, I don't know why it wasn't working. I was doing exactly the same thing.
And
Now,
how do
let's
you
try
pattern
something.
fill? How do
Say
you
that one more. Pattern fill.
fill? Yeah.
All right, we'll do that in a second. Now, we look up. All you have to do is give the item you're looking for. Which row are you looking for? So I'm looking for the item in the second row. So wherever my item ID is, it will give me the corresponding value in the second row. So item ID is right here, and it will tell me what is in the second column of this row. So now we ask me a question. If the question is, let's say, I want you to find the sales of the item rat. How do we find that?
So you go to VLOOKUP
Okay.
and then you write rat.
Rat with the
Yeah,
double quote.
yeah. And then you choose your table, and then
Table
you
is
write
chosen, yeah.
the column, okay, which is column 2. And
No,
then
not
you,
column 2. I'm trying to find the sales of rat. So in which column is the sales?
oh, okay, 3.
3. So let's try rat like this.
Okay, wait. I think you're supposed to choose write the column where rat is present in first, and the other, and then the sales column choose it later for range.
Not really. Okay. Let's see. I want you to find the sales for the item ID 1225. Now, so sales is in third column. When I make it equal, I get 1100. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
If I am looking for, let's say, the region for 1223, Ayan, how will I do it?
For the region.
The region
What's
for
the reason?
the item ID 1223. So I'll just say lookup value
You look up,
1223,
yeah,
comma,
look up value, and then you choose the table, and then choose the right 4.
4. Now, so what am I
Brackets.
looking for? 1223. Which column am I looking at? What do I want? I want the region. That's the fourth
4.
column. And I don't have to write false because default. When I save it, it should give me 4. Yes, 4. So I got the region A. Is that clear? Any questions?
No. How do you pattern fill?
Pattern fill is basically select this.
Yeah.
The pattern fill is basically conditional formatting one thing. So go to color scales, make a new rule. Is that clear?
Okay. Yeah.
Now that's all for now. The only difference is for H lookup, you have the same table thing, but instead of the column, you're giving the row. We'll solve a past shipper on this in the next class. That will make things much more
How
easier.
do you change page orientation?
Say that again. How do I change?
Page orientation.
Page orientation, go to view, page layout. Just Page layout, right there. Yes, orientation, landscape. Done. So all you have to do is page layout, not the page out in the view, the tab page layout. Go there and go to orientation. You'll have portrait or landscape. That's it. Now, when you print it, the whole thing will show up as landscape, not portrait. Now, that's all for now. I want you to solve the web authoring past paper in the GCR today, because I think you have the exam tomorrow. So finish the web authoring thing in the past paper.
We don't
Fine.
have web authoring for the exam. We only have Excel and database.
Database, but I still want. So does that mean you'll not be solving the worksheet one way?
No.
No. So
I will solve the worksheet. That doesn't mean I will.
so solve it. Do it tomorrow then, or do it in the weekend. Fine.
Yeah.
Now, good luck for the exam. Ayan, and both of you start. So whatever test you have, solve questions and send me if you have any doubts. All right. Take care. Goodbye.
Goodbye, sir. Take care.
Now, what class do we have, guys? Tell me.
Maths.